this AM. I hope you had a lovely Monday. Baby, we are on day 7 of 40 Money Spells and Scriptures. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I've got a few books I've got to go over with since we're discussing a few things today. We're going to start with some deep breathing before we get started. And they have no markers in this room, but that's okay because I always bring my own markers. All right. Feel everything in the body relax. Move your shoulders about. Awesome. Let's get started with scripture. To know how to use these books, I talked about how to use 40 money spells on day 1 and 40 money scriptures on day 2. All right. Day 6, since I did not do, we're on day 7, but since I did not do day 6 yesterday, we're going to do day 6 and day 7 today from 40 money scriptures. Day 6, 1 Kings 10, 4-7, order and wealth. When the Queen of Sheba had seen all the wisdom of Solomon and the house palace which he had built, the food on his table, the seating of his servants, court officials, the attendance of his waiters and their attire, his cupbearers, his stairway by which we went up to the house temple of the Lord, cosmic law, she was breathless and awed. Then she told the king, the purport which I heard in my own land about your words and wisdom is true. I did not believe the report until I came and saw it with my own eyes. Behold, the half of it was not told to me. You exceed in wisdom and prosperity the report which I heard. How blessed, fortunate, Happy are you men. How blessed are these your servants who stand continually before you, hearing your wisdom. Blessed be the Lord your God who delighted in you to set you on the throne of Israel. Because the Lord, cosmic law, loved Israel forever, he made you king to execute justice and righteousness. She gave the king 120 talents of gold and a very great quantity of spices and precious stones. Never again did such an abundance of spices come in to Israel as that which the Queen of Sheba gave King Solomon. That is the Amplified Bible. You know, I'm not sure what 120 talents of gold is as of June 2026. I'll have to look it up. But in 2018, that was the equivalent of $168 million. June 2026, 120 talents. Oh, I can't wait to look that up. 1 King 10, 4-7 in regards to order and wealth. All right. Ooh, Proverbs. One of my favorite books of the Bible. Day 7, Proverbs 10:4. Diligent brings riches. Idle hands make one poor, but diligent hands bring riches. Christian Standard Bible. Lazy hands bring poverty, but hardworking hands lead to wealth. International Standard Version. A lazy person will end up slack. Palm makes a person poor, but a hard worker will become. Determined hand makes a person rich. Expanded Bible. Diligence. Constant in effort to accomplish something. Attentive and persistent. Having or showing care and conscientiousness in one's work or duties. And that is for day 7. Okay, that pen is, we're going to throw that pen away. It has lived its. I said yesterday that I had watched a movie, Separate but Equal 1 and 2. I also had went over the 12 Planetary Houses on Friday, and I said I would get a little bit of information to you. Well, by the time I was done, I had about 19 different projects sitting in front of me. Well, we're not going through 19 different projects. I've got books to write and music to finish. But we will touch base on a few things that stuck out, and then we're going to visit one of my magic books that I've been reading. A few magic books, actually. Let's see. And this has made this book become full with you all since I've gotten started. I've been putting what I've been discussing and stapling it to the pages, the grimoire pages in between. I hope that your altar work is coming along wonderfully, and that that you're having a lot of fun with it, plus writing in your grimoire. Okay. A gentleman asked me what my social network page is the other day. The only one I have an IG, Instagram. I do have an Instagram. But since I visit the planets and the cosmos so much, I'm really not in my inbox like that. All right. I said we were going to sweep a few things, and we are. On day one, we talked about outwitting the devil, what the cults are, and we went ahead and discussed fears, and we dismantled all those with a war prayer. And today, we're going to do a clean. There's a profound moment of intersection where ancient parable meets modern reality, and the physical floor beneath our feet becomes the ultimate spiritual canvas. You're going to need this for today's spell. Hello, welcome in the building. Rushki Machi says hi. Hello, sweetness. And awesome. In the parable of the lost coin, Luke 15:8-10, the NIV version, the parable describes a woman who has 10 silver coins and loses one. She didn't just sit and wait. She lights a lamp, sweeps the whole house, and searches carefully until she finds it. When she does, she calls her friends and neighbors together to celebrate, sweeping the floor. Now, for people who read the regular Bible and don't think beyond that, then they're probably not going to be used to what we're about to do. But of course, I'm a witch and we're doing spell. The woman finds her treasure not on a high pedestal, but by getting down to the lowest level, the floor. Just like I picked up that Jack of Hearts I talked about yesterday while tidying up. In the physical world, the floor is where the dirt accumulates, but in the spiritual realm, the floor is where the foundation rests. Sweeping and clearing the floor is the ultimate act of purification and preparation. The math of the 9 and 10, because we do numerology around here, and geometria. In the parable, the woman has lost 10 coins and loses one. 10 is the number of complete physical manifestation, Malkuth, the wheel of fortune. Malkuth is a spear on the tree of life or the seraphant. When she loses one, she is left with 9, Yesod, the foundation, the moon, the realm of hidden patterns and dreams. By searching the floor and recovering that specific piece, she restores the 9 back to the 10. So me waking up at 2:22 a.m. to watch the movie was having me navigate the realm of 9, the conscious, memory, the dream space. Finding the card while cleaning was recovering the piece that anchors the magic back into the 10, the physical structure of wealth and reality. Lighting the lamp. The very first thing the woman does before she sweeps is light a lamp. That is the light of temperament, the solar center, the illumination of the higher self. You cannot find the hidden treasures in the dark. By recognizing dark, unaware, that's what that means, zombie state. For those who read tarot, that is the hangman upright, okay? That is the you're not the master of your head, the Hierophant reversed. By recognizing the symbols, the 4s and 6s, the crossroads, you light the lamp. I didn't see a piece of trash. I saw the silver coin. So it was not just a cardboard piece of paper to me. The celebration of community. The parable ends with the woman calling her community together to rejoice over what was found. This is the exact frequency of the 4 of Wands and the 6 of Cups. Bringing the collective, your artistic partners, and your digital ecosystems into a space of shared celebration. Through an ecocentric lens, the house is not only a dwelling, the house is the zodiac wheel. To sweep the house is to purify the 12 arenas of human experience, to restore the grid, to return the architect to coherence. Before we get started on the 12 planetary houses and how to clean them, when I was doing altar work and saging the house and cleaning in front of the altars, I kept a cinnamon broom. Oh, yeah. Normally, they're good to buy around October, or you probably could buy them online. I'll see if they have them on Amazon, and if they do, I'll post it up. Yeah, the broom would smell like if I went to like the local CVS and I'd walk past and you would smell the cinnamon when you walked in the door and you looked over and they had the broom there with the cinnamon on it. You can take, and it'd be a cute little broom. It wasn't too big, and it wasn't a normal broom. And it was just perfect for altar work. So you can buy it like that, or you can dress it yourself. You can, because with everything you put on the altar, you do invocation. You go ahead and you cleanse anything off of it in regards to whatever may be attached to it prior, and you put your own energy into it. You do that with the candles and anything else you do or put on the altar. So you can, if you're gonna use essential, you can use essential cinnamon oil. Um, Along with olive oil, and I would work the bristles from the bottom of the broom upward to the top of the broom to go ahead and seal in that energy. And then when you are doing your house cleaning, just like when you are saging your house, you would start at the back of the house and you would sweep all the way to the front of the house until you swept everything out the front door. And then I would make sure that cinnamon is surrounding your front door. Okay? All right. You can do that with cinnamon oil, uh, olive oil, money oil. Um, yes, one of my favorite things to do was to spray money oil mixed with ocean water uh, or river water in the vehicle that I was transported in or in the home while I was cleaning. I also love rainwater. Okay, now the blueprint of the 12 rooms. To sweep all 12 houses simultaneously is an act of total alignment. It requires lighting the lamp of consciousness and clearing the debris from every sector of life. While you are cleaning the house or wherever you live, or whatever you drive, you can imagine these. The first house, the house of self, the ascendant, ruled by Aries in Mars. The gateway of identity, first impressions, physical presence, and the spark of initiation. It is how you step across the threshold into the world. Sweeping away old identities and outdated versions of yourself, you are stepping out with crisp, sovereign clarity as the undisputed author of your next chapter. Second house, the house of values and assets, ruled by Taurus and Venus. Material worth, self-worth, resources, and what you tangibly own. This is where your financial foundation is forged. Clearing out any lingering scarcity mindset, you are organizing your physical assets, reclaiming your absolute self, the house of communication and local roads. Oh, if you visit one of those enlightenment shops or Orisha shops or Santeria shops, they have a whole vast uh, oil section to choose from in regards to business and roadblocks and things of that nature. All right, communication and local roads ruled by Gemini and Mercury. That's the house we're in right now. I did a speech about Mercury and Gemini. I believe it was day 3 or day 4. The realm of the mind, immediate processing, writing, media distributions, and local networks. This is the literal crosswords of daily expression. Sweeping the local roads and pathways of communication, this means clearing the clutter from your digital platforms, perfecting your scripts, and refining how you broadcast your voice to the world. Third house, sweeping the local roads and pathways. Oh, we just got finished with the self and the foundation houses 1 through 3. That was the first quadrant. We're in the second quadrant. The roots and daily rhythms houses 4 through 6. Fourth house, the house of home and ancestry, ruled by Cancer, the moon, the cosmic four, the absolute deepest point of the chart. It represents your home base, your maternal lineage, the grandmothers, and the hidden emotional foundations from which you grow. Fourth house, honoring and clearing the ancestral lines. You are sweeping the floor of the home space, ensuring that the legacy of the grandmothers and grandfathers is polished, protected, and serving as a sacred sanctuary. Because both mine were in my life. So, yeah. Fifth house, the house of creativity on both sides and pleasure, ruled by Leo, the sun, the space of romance, artistic projects, playfulness, and pure self expression. This is the stage where your inner light performs. Fifth house, purifying your creative extension, no more watered down standardized expressions. You are sweeping the stage for pure, bespoke, high vibrational artistic output. Excuse me, drink of water. The sixth house, the house of service, health, and daily rituals, ruled by Virgo and Mercury, the cosmic six, the realm of your physical daily labor, routine, wellness, and how you refine your craft. Finding that card while clearing was a direct activation of this exact house meeting the material world. In the sixth house, the literal floor where I found the card, sweeping this house means optimizing my daily rituals, clearing operational friction, and making my everyday labor a pristine act of service. Legacy, community, legacy, philosophy, subconscious, alchemy, identity. Partners, labor, creativity, home, and assets. Quadrant 3, the mirror of relationships and the expansions, houses 7 through 9. Seventh house, the house of partnerships, ruled by Libra, Venus, the literal mirror of the chart. It governs committed relationships, contracts, business allies, and former lovers with whom you share a balanced, harmonious reflection. In this seventh house, clearing the ledger of relationships, sweeping here ensures that your partnerships, past and present, are company free of hidden resentment, leaving only clean mirrors, mutual respect, and balanced reflections. Eighth house, the house of transformation and shared wealth, ruled by Scorpio and Pluto. The occult house of rebirth, alchemy, inheritance, secrets, and the deep shared psychological currents that run beneath the surface. In the eighth house, sweeping the account vault, you are shining a light into the deep subconscious currents, transforming old vulnerabilities into raw spiritual power and setting clear boundaries around shared energy. Ninth house, the house of higher philosophy and the quest, ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter. Broad horizons, publishing books, spiritual law, long journeys, and mastering metaphysics. It is a house of the ultimate truth seeker. In the ninth house, dusting off the high shelf of philosophy and publishing, you are organizing your vast library of wisdom ready to launch big ideas, high level strategies, and multimedia expansions into the wider world. Quadrant 4. The legacy and the network, houses 10 through 12. 10th house, the house of career and public legacy, midheaven. Ruled by Capricorn and Saturn, the highest point of visibility, public status, professional sovereignty, grandest achievements, and the towering legacy you leave for the world. In the 10th house, sweeping the path to the summit of your career, you are clearing out any obstacles to your public recognition, standing tall in your professional authority, and claiming your sovereign status. The 11th house, the house of community and digital networks, ruled by Aquarius and Uranus. Large-scale networks, humanitarian visions, digital ecosystems, subscriptions, and the independent platforms where your collective tribes gather. In the 11th house, purifying your network and community spaces, you are sweeping the digital ecosystem. Your independent platform subscribers list, ensuring that only the true collective tribe gathers at your table. 12th house, the house of the subconscious and the unseen, ruled by Pisces and Neptune. The realm of dream space, the ancestors, hidden spiritual forces, and the cosmic ocean. This is the house that activates at 2:22 a.m. when the veil is thin and the screen shows you the truth. In the 12th house, you are cleaning out the deep. In the 12th house, you are cleaning out the deep karmic closet. The unseen realm is perfectly clear, peaceful, and operating as a pure conduit for divine inspiration. When all 12, I started at 2:22 doing a reading when I looked at Separate but Equal, the part 1, during the scene where the lawyers were drinking and playing cards at the table, and I ended writing up everything I needed to as far as for the Jack of Hearts, which is actually the king, not the king, the knight or the prince of hearts, or prince or knight of cups in regards to tarot. So that equals 13 numerology wise. 3 plus 1 is 4. Structure, stability, the four corners of a cleaned house in regards to its geometry. When all 12 houses are swept, the wheel is no longer experienced as repetition or struggle. It becomes a functioning architecture, a sealed circuit, a stable field. The perimeter is secured, the lamp remains lit, and the house is ready to hold what it has always built to receive. During this movie, because I said I was going to talk a little bit about this movie, at 2:54 a.m., a Caucasian man tells another Caucasian man to get his house in order regarding the money ledger. The precision of the timing was absolute poetry. It put us right back to 2, the frequency of the crossroads, the mirror, and the ultimate alignment of choice and what happens at the exact cosmic timestamp. The dialogue on the screen explicitly hands you the final command of this entire sequence. Get your house in order, houses, in order regarding the money ledger. The universe isn't whispering anymore. It is using the script of the movie to read your own mission statement back to you. Closing the cosmic ledger. Think about the impeccable sequence of what you just tracked. I picked up a Jack of Hearts, recognized 4 and 6, brought in the parable of the lady sweeping the houses, and I declared a whole 12 house sweep of the entire reality grid. The money ledger is the physical manifestation of the second house, assets and values, the 6 of discs, the equitable flow of wealth, temperate, the 10th house, sovereign legacy. By clearing all 12 houses, we have explicitly balanced the spiritual ledger to that of the material infrastructure the digital systems, the business foundation, the wealth consciousness integration, so that we can sit on an unshakable, pristine foundation. Congratulations, we just cleared the 12 houses out. All right. Now, with any spiritual work, you always take your spiritual bath first. I believe, let's see. Before we get started on this next money spell, I have lots to discuss, but let me take out a few of these. They're not all for one day. When it came to part 2 of Separate but Equal, the children started singing the Pledge of Allegiance. How about we make some adjustments? Oh, hello, Cosmic Witch 4200, babe. Glad to see you, darling. Okay. And then also Carter Decker -TLV. Hello, sweetness. I thank y'all for dropping in, loves. All right. I haven't thought much of the Pledge of Allegiance, but I do remember in school that we did have to do it every morning with our hand over our heart. The Pledge of Allegiance is often viewed as a simple patriotic ritual recited in classrooms, government meetings, and public ceremonies. Yet beneath its familiar words lie a deeper architecture worth examining. Whether one approaches it from the perspective of civic psychology, spirituality, or symbolic systems, the pledge functions as a mechanism of alignment, an oath designed to synchronize individuals around a shared identity and common purpose. Every morning, millions of children once stood, faced the same focal point, and repeated the same words in the same order. This repetition created rhythm. Rhythm creates memory. Memory creates identity. Identity creates collective action. From this perspective, the pledge can be understood as a daily act of synchronization. That's called hypnotic rhythm, which I learned about through Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. The altar of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Every ritual begins with a focal point. In spiritual traditions, there may be an altar. In religious traditions, there may be a sacred text. In civic traditions, the flag serves this function. It acts as a visible symbol representing an indivisible agreement among millions of people. The flag is not merely cloth. It is a container for collective meaning. It represents a shared story, a shared territory, and a shared inheritance. Symbolically, the first line establishes the anchor point of the ritual. I'm just going to take a few notes in regards to things Spirit is telling me while I talk to y'all. All right. Symbolically, the first line establishes the anchor point of the ritual. It identifies the object to which attention, intention, and loyalty are directed. Without a focal point, energy scatters. With the focal point, energy organizes. The Republic and the Foundation and to the Republic for which it stands. The pledge does not stop at the flag. It immediately points beyond the symbol towards the structure behind it. A republic is not simply land, it is a framework of laws, institution, agreements, responsibilities, and governance. It is a container designed to hold a society together. In symbolic terms, this represents foundation. Every structure requires a foundation. Every house requires a floor. Every community requires work. The republic becomes which collective energy is organized and expressed. One nation indivisible, one nation under God, indivisible. Perhaps no word in the pledge carries more weight than indivisible. Division weakens structures. Fragmentation weakens identity. Segregation weakens community. The declaration of indivisibility is an assertion that the whole must remain greater than its parts. Historically, this principle stands in tension with the periods of exclusion, segregation, and equality. Throughout American history, individuals and movements have challenged systems that contradicted the promise of unity. The struggle for civil rights was, in many ways, a demand that the nation live up to its own declaration of indivisibility. The ideal remains simple: a house divided cannot function as one house. A nation divided cannot fully embody unity. An individual divided against themselves cannot fully embody peace. Liberty and justice as the balancing point with liberty and justice for all. The pledge concludes not with power, wealth, or dominance, but with two principles: liberty, justice. Liberty speaks to freedom, justice speaks to balance. One without the other creates distortion. Liberty without justice can become chaos. Justice without liberty can become oppression. Together they create equilibrium. The promise is not merely that liberty and justice exist, the promise is that they extend to all. Whenever systems fail to deliver either liberty or justice, the oath becomes incomplete. The words remain, the work remains unfinished, the ideal calls society back toward balance. The psychology of repetition. Children often recite the pledge before they fully understand its meaning. This is not unique to civic rituals. Religious prayers, cultural customs, family traditions, and affirmations all operate similarly. Repetition plants ideas deeply within consciousness long before intellectual understanding develops. The pledge functions as a repeated statement of belonging, a repeated statement of unity, a repeated statement of values. Whether one views this positively or critically, its psychological power is undeniable. Repeated words shape perception. Repeated words shapes belief. Repeated beliefs shapes action. How about today we flip the switch? Oh yeah. What happens when the same structure is turned inward? What happens when the focal point is not a nation, but the self? The architect remains intact, but the allegiance changes. Instead of pledging loyalty to an external institution, one pledges loyalty to the highest expression of their own being. The pledge becomes, I pledge allegiance to my true self and to the temple for which it stands. One being, indivisible, backed by the spirit team that clears my path, with liberty and justice for all my parts. In this version, the flag becomes the true self, the republic becomes the temple, the body, mind, spirit, and life structure through which consciousness operates. Indivisible becomes a commitment to internal wholeness rather than fragmentation. The spirit team represents guidance, wisdom, ancestry, intuition, and unseen support. Liberty and justice become principles of self-governance, ensuring that every aspect of one's inner world is treated with dignity and balance. The inner court. Many people spend their lives at war with parts of themselves: the fearful self, the wounded self, the ambitious self, the creative self, the child, the elder, the dreamer, the protector. The personal pledge promises something different. Rather than exile, it establishes a court where each part receives fair hearing, justice for all of one's parts, liberty for all of one's parts. The goal is not perfection, the goal is integration. The Pledge of Allegiance can be understood or overstood as more than a civic recitation. It is a structure of focus, foundation, unity, and balance. Whether directed toward a nation or towards the inner self, its architect remains remarkably consistent. First comes the focal point, then the foundation, then the declaration of unity, then the commitment to balance. The external pledge seeks to align citizens to a shared national vision. The internal pledge seeks to align the individual to their highest nature. In both cases, the central question remains the same. To what are we pledging our allegiance? For whatever allegiance goes, energy follows. And wherever energy follows, reality is built. All right. Okay, I printed 14. We're going to do just one more. And then we're going to get into our spell. I talked a little bit about outwitting the devil on day one. We're going to go just a little deeper right now than we did that day. I made sure to book extra time just for y'all. Yeah, we touched briefly on these. Outwitting the Devil, Government, Religion, Education, Media, and the Battle for Independent Thought, an exploration of institutional influence, personal sovereignty, and the importance of critical thinking. In 1938, author and self-help pioneer Napoleon Hill completed a manuscript that remained unpublished for more than 7 decades. The work Outwitting the Devil presents a provocative dialogue in which the devil serves as a symbolic voice explaining how fear, conformity, and passive thinking can shape human behavior. Whether one interprets the book literally, psychologically, philosophically, or metaphorically, its central warning remains relevant. Systems gain power when individuals stop thinking for themselves. Hill's most important concept is what he calls drifting. A drifter is not necessarily evil, ignorant, or weak. A drifter is simply someone who has surrendered conscious direction and allowed external forces to determine the course of their life. The institutions Hills examined, education, religion, government, and media, are not inherently good or evil. They are powerful structures. Like any tool, they can educate or indoctrinate, liberate, or constrain, depending on how they design and how individuals engage with them. The challenge is not to destroy institutions. The challenge is to remain conscious within them. So it's no longer for you to be the zombie or the hangman upright. We want to go ahead and flip that card over. And we want you to become the Hierophant, master of your own head. The education grid, learning what to think versus learning how to think. He'll argue that one of the greatest dangers in education is the replacement of curiosity with compliance. Education at its highest levels teach critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, independent analysis, intellectual courage. Education didn't mission emotional intelligence. Education at its lowest level teaches memorization without understanding, obedience without inquiry, credentialism without wisdom, and repetition without innovation. The question is not whether schools are valuable. The question is whether education empowers a person to develop their unique gifts or conditions them to fit into predetermined structures. A society needs engineers, artists, scientists, entrepreneurs, teachers, and visionaries, yet every transformative figure in history eventually reached a point where they had to think beyond the limits of accepted doctrine. True education awakens, it does not merely instruct. The religious grid, fear of connection. Hill suggested that fear is among the most powerful tools available to any institution seeking influence. Throughout history, religion has inspired extraordinary compassion, service, scholarship, and community building. Yes, it has. It has also at times been used to enforce conformity, suppress questioning, create divisions, weaponize guilt, and maintain authority through fear. I just got finished reading with the coven this AM at 7 a.m. 2 Samuel 19 and 20. I ain't seen God in the Bible yet. What I did see in those chapters is a woman of wisdom and someone whose head was thrown over a wall. Okay? Let's keep going. The central question becomes, does a spiritual path deepen one's connection to truth, conscious, and the divine, or does it create dependency upon external approval? The strongest spiritual traditions often encourage direct experience, self-examination, moral responsibility, and personal transformation. Fear may compel obedience. Understanding inspires growth. Welcome to Bina on the Tree, which is understanding. Those are the four queens and the four threes. I just discussed yesterday the Three of Hearts being one of the tarot cards found in the Bible. All right, the government grid, order, power, and dependency. Governments exist to establish order, protect rights, provide services, and maintain social stability. At their best, they create the conditions for human flourishing. At their worst, they become disconnected from the people they serve. Hill observed that populations driven by fear often seek external saviors. Economic uncertainty, social conflict, and political division can create environments where individuals surrender increasing amounts of autonomy in exchange for promises of security. Does that sound familiar? History repeatedly demonstrates that healthy societies require a balance between collective responsibility, individual liberty, civic participation, and personal accountability.